But the Third Reich faction. That's the Imperium's going to turn to the Third Reich now. But
he posted a picture on Twitter with Sean Dean. He's got his castle. It says justice on it. and then somebody says Hook is some fucking girl says on Twitter, Hook is what? Stokely, I hate your ball ass so much. And then Big Stoke on Twitter goes, wow, Hook will pay for his crimes. It was confirmed that there was a forearm fracture which required a cast. I am distraught. I rolled dice with my left hand, so I'm please don't make me sue this company, Tony Khan. Please, you know that a portrait of your father that's hanging in your office? Well, once I own this company, I'm replacing it with a big-ass photo of James Brown. Yep. Every time you see the Godfather of Soul sweating in drug-fueled rage at the Apollo, you're gonna think of me. Sounds pretty miserable, bro. Do the right thing. Punish this little bastard Hook and write me a fat check. By the way, here's a photo of me with my best friend Al Sharpton. It means absolutely nothing, by the way. Blushing face. But somebody tweeted, he tweeted, Hook is a piece of shit, and then somebody tweeted this. Some woman, I dated a 5'8" guy who taunt every jack. Oh wait, I dated a 5'8" guy who taunt every jacked. 6'3" bro he met until they pulled their first back to beat him up. Whereupon my ex would go, hey, come on. I'm a little guy. I'm just a little guy. No, it's just also my birthday. I'm a birthday boy. It somehow always worked. And then Stokely just quote tweets it. Fuck you. Antonio Brown, but who the fuck's in the background? It's Hook. It's fucking Hook. And then he's getting twerked on by some fucking broad. My t-shirt money is now in the ass crack of some fucking stripper. So thanks, Hook. But I don't. But Jesus Christ, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Clip it.
Oh,
but
actually,
hey, it worked out in the long run.
I actually do hope they make another season actually, because I would love to see the American Dragon on Total Bellas start memeing on John Laurinaitis. You have live footage of John Laurinaitis in his living room calling somebody in his underwear saying, "Hey, bud, you fired."
What did Max Caster say about me?
Like I'm embarrassed the fact that I'm hosting a post show for this crap.
I'm proud of you, Carl. I love this.
We did our Valentine's Day post of Hooked on You, but it was mainly for Jamie Hayter and only Jamie Hayter.
It's not right. It's not right. I'm trying to build an account and we get this bullshit on the account. Great. But
so follow a simp account.
Okay. Okay, but here's the thing, because those people, this is networking.
We actually
networking.
follow.
You got
it was a business decision.
It's a business. You have to follow these people. This is like following. If you want a stan account, you got to follow the other stans. And when you get big, you get rid of them. You get rid of them after that. It's over with.
I open up our Instagram and the first thing I see is Pro Wrestling Simp, and I'm like, what is this?
I don't look at that. I don't look at that stuff. Decision. It's a business decision because it promotes us, and then when we don't need him anymore, we toss him aside. That's what happens.
Yeah, well, we got go fucking slap it on a t-shirt and continue to use the move forehead.
Prettier.
This guy just say fucking forehead.
What?
This guy say forehead.
Yes, I did.
You think I fucking wouldn't catch that? You think nobody on this program would catch that? But I did. For weird.
You almost didn't.
For weird.
Let's be honest. You almost didn't.
Weird champ. This is what we resort to here.
All right. Next up.
Unbelievable. 5 head.
Next up, we have.
It's now Sunday, guys. You know what that means. It is time for your weekly dose of the Pro Wrestling Injection right here on the Pro Wrestling Injection YouTube and Twitch. What a pay-per-view. Probably wasn't the better of them, but it flowed a lot faster than most.
I wouldn't say that. I think this is contender for pay-per-view of the year.
I'm still gonna hold out.
I thought this was unbelievable. Especially 2 weeks after another major pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was just.
I believe this.
This was a crazy pay-per-view though. Like it flowed fast. It went by extremely fast.
Yep.
this was something else. Uh, I mean, from start to finish, you had matches that were like excellent in ring quality. You had matches that I mean, like the main event that was like, what the fuck did I just witness? And then you also had matches that were like, that was just fucking purely solid. That was just solid. There was not a bad match on this entire show.
Yeah.
Zero bad matches on this show. Everything was solid. Um, it's, they don't fuck around on these pay-per-views, yo. They don't.
No.
And it especially that's hard to do 2 weeks after another major show. So, I mean, Christ Almighty. I guess starting. I guess we'll have notes on the pre-show. Not the pre-show, excuse me. The post-show media scrum.
Yeah, as it
let's
happens.
Yeah, so we're gonna have some notes on that. But yeah, very, very, very good show tonight. Scary shit,
Mm-hmm.
but Christ Almighty. So where do we start? First off, we started with the media. Oh, not the media. Excuse me. We started with the 0 hour pre-show, and kicking us off, we had the Acclaimed versus the Iron Savages. And as the Iron Savages was coming out, who was ringside? None other than AJ and Big Justice, the Costco guys. They were there. We heard rumblings that they were going to be at All Out, and there they were. They were interviewed later on, but they were there. The Costco guys were there, and it's fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Big boom for the Costco guys.
Did he get
I
as
just went-
involved with the show as like most kind of like collaborations with celebrities get? It was just a
But-
nice little side interview during the middle of 0 hour.
No, I expected it to be that way. But it's like, I mean, AJ could have did something because he used to be a wrestler, but yeah, it was cool to see them. I mean, they're the hottest thing on online right now. So
On TikTok, on Twitter.
yeah, so there's a lot of people who weren't aware of them, but for those who were, it was kind of cool. But anyway, the Acclaimed beat the Iron Savages. After that, we had the Dark Order versus the Bang Bang Gang, and the Bang Bang Gang defeated the Dark Order. Then we had Sammy Guevara, Hologram, and Dustin Rhodes as the Premier Athletes. Sammy, Dustin, Hologram defeated the Premier Athletes, and then we had a three-way trios match between the Undisputed Kingdom, Top Flight, and Shane Taylor Promotions and the Beast Mortos, and the Undisputed Kingdom went over there. So that was really.
We also got Boomer Doom with.
Well, yeah, we did that. We did Boomer Doom with the Costco guys, and after that, we had Mariah May come out and said she's not doing her celebration in Chicago because she doesn't like Chicago, because they brought out Sky Blue.
And also, why is it called the Windy City when no one ever has gotten blown here? Okay, buddy. All right.
What's it called? Sky Blue. She came out for a little update. She's on crutches because she's from Chicago. It was nice to see her. She's still not going to be ready for. She's probably not going to be ready until probably about.
I think
early next year.
I'm not sure if the video was old, but I think it was on Twitter. There was like a thing of her walking, like before the pay-per-view, before the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't matter.
I would like to think maybe end of this year, start of next year is when she's gonna be back fully.
I highly doubt that because she got hurt. I believe it was 2 months ago. What was it? Let's see. Yeah, she got hurt 2 months ago. end of July she got hurt.
Okay.
So she's not going to be back from a broken ankle this year. She's probably back around early next year, or probably going into like double or nothing time is when I see her coming back.
Yeah.
Because that's a pain in the ass. Ankles are a pain in the ass when it comes to injuries. So she get well soon to her.
Mhm.
But yeah, Mariah kicked out. Aminata. Queen
It switched
Aminata.
over to your webcam, by the way.
Then Queen Aminata, she ended up get running Mariah off. And if you didn't see on Twitter, they did a little promo segment in the back with Aminata, and Mariah May are gonna have a title match.
Oh,
So
nice.
which that should be a very good match. That was actually Mariah's first ever match in the company. Was against Aminata on her debut match. So that should be cool. But yeah,
What?
oh no, I was just looking at some. But anyway, we had Daniel Garcia versus MJF to start this show, and this was an excellent match. This was just a knockdown, drag out match. These two, I mean, a lot of story here. Both guys fucking hate each other, but these guys were fighting technical. They were doing stuff that was doing a lot of callbacks with when it came to the pile drivers and the neck spots and all that stuff. But this match was exceptional. I thought this was a fantastic match.
Definitely not the last of it.
Yeah. These guys, I mean, Christ Almighty. Uh, I can't. I mean, I can't. I don't even know where to start. But it's just these. I mean, they went for it every time. Like they teased the top rope, tombstone and the top rope pile driver, during the match. Garcia got bloodied up early on into the match. But the match ended where MJF pulled the referee in between him and Garcia and gave him a low blow and then ended up rolling him up, and that's how MJF won the match. But after this, MJF wanted to shake Garcia's hand, which is funny. But then Garcia did shake his hand, and then he ended up kicking him square in the fucking nuts because MJF tried to do it first. And Garcia then brings him over to the turnbuckle. He strings him up, and he gives him the top rope pile driver, and that was fucking awesome. Then he goes and celebrates in the crowd. So basically, they didn't want MJF to lose, and neither did they want Daniel Garcia to lose. And basically, what happened is MJF won, but Garcia basically won the moral victory because he was the one standing tall. MJF's gonna be fucked up now because he just got dropped on his neck from the top rope. But yeah, they didn't give MJF a convincing victory, but they gave Garcia a decisive finish. So
Yeah.
great stuff.
And after this, we went into the tag team match for
Yes.
the EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson versus Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli.
Yes, that's right.
Like I fell asleep for like a minute of this match. I'm also just really tired. But this was a fun match. This was a nice little, like it was a filler match because you need the Bucks on the show.
Wouldn't call it that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a tag title match. It was a very, very good match. I really enjoyed it. Every match, every spot they did was effective. It was just a really solid match. I mean, I don't really have any complaints about it. It was just a very, very good match. You knew that Claudio and Yuta weren't winning the titles. That much was obvious.
Yeah.
But the match itself was fucking excellent. I thought it was great. And it was just a great thing to have go on second after you have a long opener with a lot of emotional storytelling in it. So you just have a nice little banger in the middle of it. So this was a great match. The Bucks ended up winning.
with a I think it was the EVP trigger to Claudio, and Yuta couldn't get in the ring in time, and they ended up snagging the victory out of the. Actually, no, it was a roll up. Excuse me, it was a roll up, and the Bucks ended up basically squeaking out a win. And yeah, they were never going to give the titles to Yuta and Claudio. That much is evident when we're going to talk about some stuff that happened later on. But yeah,
which
the
was
Bucks
so
retain,
cool.
But the Bucks retain, and a great match.
Yeah. After this, we had the Okada
Next,
versus...
no. We had in my opinion, the match of the night besides the main event. We had Will Ospreay versus Pac for the international title. This match was fucking incredible. I don't know where to start. I mean, when you see these two guys listed on the match docket, you already know what the fuck you're gonna get. So, and that's exactly what they gave us, and even more so. I'm not even gonna attempt to break this down move by move, but these two went out there and provided one of the best matches that you'll see all year. If you go and watch one match from this show that wasn't the main event, it's this. This match was fucking phenomenal. This was an unreal match. The selling from both men, especially Ospreay on his neck, and Pac just honing in on his neck with all the poison ranas and the German suplexes, the athleticism that they showed in this match. This was a marvel of a match. I can't say any like I really like can't say anything that they didn't show. It's like I can't really like. This was just I don't know what to say. You just have to see it to believe it. I mean,
it's one of those Will Ospreay matches that like go out of your way to watch.
It's the run Ospreay's been on since he got to this company, and he hasn't even been there a year yet. Is
like
they're gonna be talking about. And yes, I mean Ospreay. I think Ospreay is gonna go down as maybe one of the greatest, if not the greatest, to ever do it. But they're gonna be talking about his first year in AEW, like the fucking Perk Angle years in TNA. I mean, and it's not. I'm not. It's not because of the memes or anything like that. It's just out of pure in-ring ability and just great matches. And that's what was being delivered here by Will Ospreay and Pac. I mean, I thought I was in a fucking coma watching some of this shit and wondering how these guys are alive. And then I go see on Twitter, I see Big AJ and fucking Big Justice popping off at the high spots during this match. I'm like, dude, if you haven't seen Will Ospreay and you're a wrestling fan, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Because this guy, I mean, this is no disrespect to Pac, because Pac is crazy, but Ospreay, I mean, this guy could probably have a fucking match with a goddamn action figure in the ring. Put him in a ring with a fucking action figure of Pac, and he'd probably pull out a fucking unbelievable match with it. It's like I'm at a loss for words, like, because what else can I even say that hasn't been said already about Ospreay and his matches? And same thing with Pac. I mean, Pac was unbelievable in this match. Pac was unreal. But the match was phenomenal. Ospreay ended up winning with a hidden blade to the back of Pac's neck.
It was the Styles Clash into the hidden blade, which is a beautiful transition of that move.
Yeah.
Is like shit popping off on Twitter all of a sudden?
No, I was looking at something because I don't know.
You know
the DraftKings ads?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a sports gambler. I don't do that stuff. I think gambling's foolish. but what's it called? I tried the what's it called? The free, because they have a free to play
Yeah. So you did
prop
the main event.
thing. Yeah, it's only the main event. So I had a free to play thing. I wanted to see if it updated. I just didn't know because I mean it was free, so I was like I don't really care if it's free because I just don't gamble. It's a personal decision, but it's like it was the first time I ever did it, so I'm trying to figure out the app, and I just wanted to see if it updated it, but if anything anything won or not. I think it's still live. The pool has not been scored yet. Okay, there it is. But anyway, but yeah, actually, just before we continue on here, finally, just if you were curious, if anybody was curious, what the questions look like that you have to answer in the DraftKings, the type of questions are: who will be the first entrance for the lights out steel cage match?
Mm.
Who will bleed first? Will the match go outside the cage? Will either participant use or attempt to use gasoline during the match? Of these selections, what weapon will be used first during the match? And there was a steel chair, table, staple gun, ring steps. Will any outside interference enter the cage during the match? Yes or no? Which moves will successfully be performed first? And there was the dead eye, the swerve stomp, or neither. And there's who will be the winner of the match? And then there was Hangman and Swerve. So it was a cool little thing. And literally I think, let me see. Yeah, the score distribution, I think it's like a thing where it's like if you come in 71st to 1600th place, you get $5. Like a pool of 10K. So I mean there's no harm in doing it since it's free.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of guessing shit, so I thought it was pretty cool. I'll continue to do them. I don't know they have them for WWE as well. But anyway, besides that, after that exceptional match for the international title, we'll talk about it now, just so we don't forget. But later on in the show, they did a little segment with Ospreay in the back, where him and Ricochet got into it.
I kind of laughed at what Ospreay said. Like, you just sit here in the back, collect a paycheck, dude. He just got here. Hold up. Like, hold on. He just got here.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's got to chill out, bro. This guy's expecting him to have fucking 3 matches. But yeah. So they start getting into it, which I like. I don't want it to be like all buddy between them.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it's a competitive rivalry. So, but yeah. They got into it, and they're building towards Ospreay Ricochet because that's a big time money match, and they're gonna do that on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna be the next pay-per-view. Actually, it could be a little bit after, maybe in 2 pay-per-views, because if he wants Ricochet to rack up wins, Wrestle Dream is the next one, and it's only like a month away. So
unless they
could do it.
Unless they have just Ricochet wrestle like every week from here on out.
Yeah, I was saying that like he could either do that or just wrestle once on a Dynamite, once on Collision. They could do something like that. But anyway, after this we had Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale in a Chicago street fight.
It was crazy. You have like Ospreay and Pac, and it's like pretty much try and follow that.
Yeah, that was my thing. I was like, God bless them, and they fucking did it.
Yeah, they killed it.
Yeah. My first thing was like, oh, well, I'm sorry for whoever has to follow, Ospreay and Pac, but I mean, it's like. I mean, I'm like, I don't know how anybody could do that, but lo and behold, Statlander and Willow went out there and they provided an excellent street fight.
Oh yeah,
on a show where there was going to be another fucking war with a lot of plunder, but yeah, they had an excellent match. These 2 women. This is the AEW women's street fights have like been one of like the most successful genres they've ever done. Almost everything.
Is they both in AEW and Ring of Honor?
Yeah, every single mostly every single women's street fight that they've done, whether it be a singles or a tag, has been like very good.
Or
Like
even
just
a lights
exceptionally
out.
good. Yeah, yeah. Just a hardcore match in that regard. Just all of them have been very, very good. And it's kind of cool because you don't see them a lot. Um and when they happen, they're usually more times than not very good. And this was another example of that. There was a crazy spot in this match where Statlander pulled out some tacks and then ended up doing a split on that, and the crowd reaction to that was fucking crazy. Um, Willow ended up spearing Statlander off the stage through 2 tables. That looked good. Stokely Hathaway was out there trying to be fucking New Jack, which
The
I thought was
fucking-
hilarious.
I have to talk about a commentary note. So Stokely brought out a chair and it said R.I.P. New Jack. And when Statlander was starting to use it, I believe it was like Shivani or Taz was pointing out that, oh, it says something about Willow. Then Excalibur goes, no, it says R.I.P. New Jack. And then with the most deadpan sound, you hear Tony Schiavone go, okay.
Yeah. Well,
Like, oh,
I mean, he tried. He tried, Stokely. So good on him.
I'm sorry if there was any match for like Big Justice and AJ to get involved, just have Stokely fuck with them for like a second.
Yeah.
Like, come on, it was right there.
Well. I mean, they didn't need to get involved, which I'm kind of glad they did. They didn't because that would have made the entire thing fucking goofy.
True.
If you wanted to do that, do it on a pre-show match. But like the amount of content they probably filmed backstage, like Sammy Guevara already posted one 2 hours ago with them. So it's like the amount of shit they fucking filmed backstage was probably an asinine amount.
Oh, you're gonna get your shit. But
I think your mic switched over again.
Yeah, it's loose.
You got to get a new microphone, man.
It's not the microphone. It's just the cable that's loose. It just slips out.
Then buy like a new micro USB.
You have micro USB money, buddy?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, me neither. I don't have money anymore. I'm broke. Summer fucked me up. What's it called? But anyway, there was a great spot as well with Statlander.
Tubes.
Yeah. Well, oh yes, with Statlander and Willow, they were up on the stage and Willow hit her in the head with light tubes. I didn't expect that. That was crazy.
She goes Stokely. She starts ambling towards him, holding up the light tubes. And Stokely got the fuck out of there.
Yeah. The finish ended up coming from a crossface, where Willow ended up tapping out, verbally submitting, to Statlander, who had a chain in her mouth and another chain wrapped around her nose, and just had a chain. She was wrenching on her, but Chris Statlander ended up winning the match. I thought this was an excellent match. Great stuff from both these women. They followed Pac and Ospreay, which is extremely hard thing to do. But yeah, great stuff from these two, and I'm happy that Statlander won because she really needed that win.
Yeah, after this was Okada, and
yes, after this we had the Continental Championship match between Orange Cassidy, Konosuke Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, and Kazuchika Okada, and this was another great match, another fun match. They teased a lot of what's going to be going forward in this match. They all work really well together. There isn't really like that. There wasn't a big story because this match was made on Collision last night. But the big story in this match was Mark Briscoe and Orange. They're friendly, so they were still wrestling each other, but they were also helping each other. But the big one is the teasing of Kazuchika Okada versus Konosuke Takeshita, because they barely had them interact one-on-one for very long periods of time. And when they first faced off, the crowd came up and started yelling "Holy shit!" They started chanting "Holy shit!" for Okada and Takeshita. So that match is gonna happen eventually, and it's gonna be fucking great. If it was if I was Tony, I'd call up David Zaslav and I'd be like, "Yo, brother, man, I need an hour of commercial-free television," and I just stick him in the ring for 45 minutes.
I don't know.
And
They
just
got
let 'em do
fucking
whatever
Final
the fuck they want.
Countdown. I think they kind of blew their budget already.
Well, they said well, Tony said they worked out a deal with them.
That's true. Yeah.
So
yeah.
and he said they were gonna use it today too. He tweeted out, "It's the final countdown." I
Ooh.
really think, like, I guess just talk about it now. I really think he's gonna use that song for every one of his title defenses, at least on pay-per-view, because every match he has the threat of it being his last, it being his last match before he retires as a full-time wrestler. So I think every title defense he has will have that song on it. So anyway, but the match was fun. For the 4-way, Okada ended up hitting the Rainmaker on Orange Cassidy to retain, and yeah, just a lot of fun. I really hope they get to Takeshita and Okada soon enough, because I really would like to see that match. If that happens at the Continental Classic or just on Dynamite or on a pay-per-view, count me the fuck in. I'd love to see it on a pay-per-view. But count me the fuck in. So anyway, after this we had Hikaru Shida versus the CEO Mercedes Moné for the TBS title.
Oh fuck.
What?
So there was like fan footage of the chair shot.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah,
fucking nasty.
I should just popped up too.
Oh. Like regardless, gimmick chair or not, holy fuck.
Yeah. And that wasn't even the worst bump in the match.
Nope. But so okay, we now have Mercedes Moné taking on Hikaru Shida for the TBS title. This was like this was a nice cool down. I see this as the cool down match, kind of going into it.
I mean, I wouldn't count that. I wouldn't say any match here was a cool down, but that's just how the crowd saw it. But it was the match besides a couple where it was only a 2-week build. But that was a lot of matches on this card.
Yeah, but even like the actual main event that wasn't the lights out was a 2-week build, and
well, yeah, most of the
knocked
that's
it
what
out
I'm
of the
saying.
fucking park.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The most of the card was a 2-week build, but for this, the way it was placed, you're not gonna get a crazy type of reaction, especially for a match where you know the heel is going over. And the crowd's not dumb to that. But I mean, I thought the match was fine. I thought it was good. It was a lot better than the Britt Baker match at All In. But yeah, I mean, Mercedes looked good. Shida looked good.
I think
there was no interference. Camille didn't come out. There was no ref bump. But yeah,
my favorite sequence was the forearm exchange, because at that point you could see Shida like, okay, so we want to play this, so we want to go Stardom style. Well, then let's do it. Then they started stiff forearms back and forth. It was really good.
Yeah. And yeah, it's like and that was the thing about this match too, because it was a shorter match card than most AEW pay-per-views, and every match, there was no match that went below 15 minutes, so everybody got an ample amount of time. The quickest match on this card, on the main card, was the well, it's actually a tie between the Statlander Willow match and the 4-way. Both clocked in at 14:57. There was both clocked in at the Statlander and Nightingale match clocked in at 14:57, and the Continental title match clocked in at 14:59. So with entrances, everybody got at least
like
over 15.
Yeah, like 15
at least
to like 16 minutes.
Yeah, so everybody got ample time tonight. Everybody did great. but yeah, match was good. A lot better than the Britt Baker match. Sheeta, I mean, she's great, and Mercedes is great, but this isn't gonna go anywhere forward. And it's gonna get Mercedes ready for whoever her next feud is going to be. We don't know who that is yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah. So, but Mercedes retains. If she, I mean, potential challenges for her. Jamie, not yet, because she's still not over. She's not finished with Saray and Harley, and she's still working her way back. Britt is obviously probably over with for now. Because you got to remember, a lot of the women's division at the top of the women's division in AEW is a very heel heavy. So, the one I suspect, because they could always go Willow again, but she just lost. But the one I suspect is probably coming soon on Mercedes' end. That is a big match that they haven't done yet. Is Thunder Rosa? I think Thunder Rosa, because she won that bull rope match with Deonna Purrazzo on Collision. We haven't seen her since. I think she did get a title match against Tony Storm not too long ago, but it was long enough ago where she can challenge for the TBS title. But yeah, that's the one I suspect that's coming soon. And then by the time she's done there, they'll probably get to Jamie. Or whoever else.
Because I don't know injury status, I'm not gonna bring up some people that I know that are out. Would you push Marina Shafir up a bit?
Well, she's a heel. I wouldn't have her go in there as one of. I mean, we know her role where she's going to be right now, and she's a fucked up heel right now, and that's not going to roll with Mercedes. Mercedes, the people do not like Mercedes. Well, obviously as a heel.
Yeah.
So you need a babyface to go in there with her. So you have Thunder Rosa sitting right there, not doing anything, and I think she'd be the perfect opponent, for her right now, because everybody else is kind of occupied.
Do you know how far out Julia is from coming back?
Yeah, she's not coming back anytime soon.
Okay.
She had shoulder surgery.
I didn't know the extent.
Yeah,
so that's why I didn't bring her up initially.
Yeah. She got shoulder surgery after Dynasty, so I doubt it.
Maybe it's possible for this option because she just got done with Japan. Maybe Anna Jay.
Maybe
as a nice little buffer for whatever they have planned.
Maybe because they would have to reintroduce her because she was a heel when she left and she hasn't been on television for
I think
a month.
That wouldn't be too hard because absent makes the heart grow fonder.
You can't, I know, but you can't rely on that. You can't.
I know I can't. I think for Anna Jay it would help.
Jack Perry was gone for how long? Look how he came back.
Well, just look at the idiots that are still hating on him.
It doesn't matter. That's just how it's gonna be booked. But I mean, there's also, it doesn't have to be a woman on the roster.
Yeah.
It could. I mean, Wrestle Dream was set up to be like a Antonio Inoki tribute show, and there is obviously New Japan involvement. It's not like a Forbidden Door, but there's New Japan involvement. They could even do Mina Shirakawa, even though she just went back to Japan. But I mean, she lives in America now. So they could. I mean, she's not signed yet. She's still a part of Stardom, but they could do like Mina Shirakawa or something like that, or I mean, they could do somebody else. But I think Thunder Rosa is maybe your best bet. Because somebody can go in there with Mercedes, have a good match, and lose, and by the time that's over with, you'll have women that are freed up, and ready to go. You have Ty coming back soon. She shouldn't be thrust into a title match. So, but you have women coming back, and Jamie. I think Jamie will be ready in that regard. I don't know what because Jamie could either challenge for either belt, but obviously Tony and Mariah aren't finished yet. Because I mean, when Mariah, whenever she does her celebration, Tony's going to be involved in that somehow. But we'll see.
Notes from the scrum right now, since Tony's taking questions first, which is kind of weird. The TV deal is very close. It's like on the 1 yard line. And he's about to talk about the AEW Shockwave discussion. So I'll interrupt when that pops up.
But anyway, after this, we had the AEW World Championship match between Bryan Danielson and the Scapegoat, Jack Perry. Jack Perry had a cool little entrance where they were looking. It was a police scanner, looking for the Scapegoat bus, and he drove the Scapegoat bus to the arena. And the Bucks were out there waiting for him. They had his Scapegoat mask. They had the TNT title.
A shirt version of his jacket.
Yeah, that was cool. He had a custom jacket with the Scapegoat bus on it. But yeah, so he comes out. He has a cool little entrance. He has the SWAT entrance like he did at the New Japan show when he first came back in Chicago for the first time. So that was cool. And then they also had the final countdown, which you talked about earlier, for Bryan Danielson on his entrance. But the match itself was very, very good.
After the ref bump, it got out of second gear. It was perfect.
I thought it was an excellent match. It was very, very well worked. It went about 30 minutes. I mean, it was really good, really well paced. The ref bump was cool. Actually, Bryce had a shiner, and Bryan actually caught him. But yeah, there was nobody in their fucking mind thought that Bryan had any chance of losing against Jack. But they made you believe anyway. Jack was bringing out old moves. He was doing some of Bryan's moves. He was doing the cattle mutilation. He was doing the psycho knee. He was doing the yes chance with his middle finger. Bryan, to Bryan, Jack ended up bringing out the snare trap. He hasn't done the snare trap since he was Jungle Boy, which was cool.
Sorry to interrupt, but Tony Khan just he turned around the question of Shockwave background and says, well, to answer your first question, I think tonight issued a big shockwave within AEW. He turned it around.
And then the Shockmaster fucking bust through the door at the media scrum. But anyway.
Okay, so Jack ended up the ending was the ending of this thing was a good sequence.
I do want to say this: the way fucking Jack was selling the Bicycle because he took about two.
He flew off of them.
I've never seen somebody hit the sell the Bicycle knee like this. He might have sold it was one of the best sells I've ever seen.
It reminded me of the
he flew fucking across the goddamn ring.
It reminded me
one time
of
the last one he got turned inside out.
Yeah. It reminded me of the gif of Keith Lee hitting the pounce on Adam Cole in NXT, where Adam Cole went flying into the crowd.
Yeah, it's because Jack's smaller, so he'll be able to do that. But the ending was great. Bryan ended up getting in the corner doing the yes chance, and Jack did his pose on his knees, accepting his fate. Bryan hit him with a psycho knee and ended the match and retained his title. After the match, here comes fucking Luchasaurus to the ring. We're like, oh shit, because obviously Christian has his contract that he could cash in at any time, and he fucking headbutts Bryan. Him and Jack look at each other, which I didn't even fucking realize. I completely forgot about this because the state of Jurassic Express in 2024, and obviously they had bad blood because when Jack was feuding with Christian. But here comes Christian and the rest of the patriarchy with his goddamn title contract. But before he can get to the ring, here comes Jon Moxley to make the save and stand in front of the patriarchy, which I thought was extremely odd, just because of the way he's been acting. I'm like, why the fuck?
Yeah, I was
it's
like,
I was like, all right, well, he's gonna do his own thing, but he's still gonna be a part of the BCC. They're just gonna, all right, Mox is just kind of doing his
he's
own
gonna
thing
have
right
his
now.
own
Yeah,
corner
and,
of it.
yeah, and then here comes Yuta, Claudio, and Pac to stand against him, and then the patriarchy goes and fucks off. The rest of the BCC and Pac get in the ring and raise Danielson's hands. Mox is hugging Brian. He's kissing him on the forehead. And there was a great shot. Someone was looking at this, and Wheeler was looking at Mox hugging Brian and stuff. And then he was like, "That's kind of like the look on Yuta's face is like, it was kind of weird." But as they're celebrating in the ring, Claudio ends up giving a European uppercut to Brian. Brian just gets He doesn't even like really sell. He just gets planted on his ass. He's looking at Claudio, fucking stunned. And all of a sudden, from behind him, Mox puts a plastic bag over Brian Danielson's head and starts suffocating this guy.
Yuta,
Fucking
then Yuta.
Wheeler Yuta does not know what the fuck is going on. Marina Shafir's now in the ring. Pac is holding Yuta back.
And Yuta is crying too.
Yuta's fucking crying his eyes out. He's screaming for Brian. He has no clue what the fuck is happening. Pac's holding him back. Claudio and Marina are making sure the doctors can't get in the ring. Mox is suffocating this guy. And once they're done, they all leave through the crowd. Mox, Pac, Claudio, and Marina. And Yuta goes to tend to Brian. So, Yuta obviously was not in on this.
Nope.
They were kind of teasing this for months. I did not see this coming at all. I didn't even think about this. I never thought this was coming. But the only thing I did see that was like that was they mentioned, but I just thought they just mentioned this because it's true that Yuta is the training partner of Brian Danielson, which that is a true thing. So
do you want to know what's fucked about what the main part of what's fucked up about this turn is? Mox and Claudio were wearing Brian's merch when they did it.
White shirt. But yeah, so
white shirt, black pants.
They all leave through the crowd, and it's like, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened? And they're carrying out Brian. They put the oxygen mask on him. Yuta's attending to him. So the fucking trios titles are most likely going to be vacated again, because now the trios champs are Pac, Wheeler, and Claudio. Claudio and Yuta obviously are done after this, and same with Pac. I mean, you can keep them on Pac and Claudio. I don't know if you just take it from Yuta and give it a Mox. But I don't know if this is the end of the BCC or this is just a new version of the BCC with Brian and Wheeler out. But man, I didn't see this coming, and there's gonna be hell to pay. And I knew, and I did foresee them with Moxley doing something with Brian. I did foresee that. Like, even when we talked about Moxley and his weird demeanor 2 weeks ago, I'm like, I see that they're probably gonna end up doing Brian and Moxley again. But I didn't see him doing like this. I didn't think Claudio and Pac were gonna be involved in this new little.
Peep the
thing
group
Moxley got
chat
going on
real
here.
quick. This is the most fucked up tweet I've seen.
This is another person I have blocked on Twitter. Let's see. Oh yeah, I love this video. I have this video. I saved it. I've had this video for 2 years.
Fucked.
Jesus Christ, that's the shit that happened to Eazy-E. That's how Eazy-E died. Fucking Suge Knight. That's crazy. But yeah. I don't know what to make of this new Moxley, this new group. I mean, I know what kind of to make of it. They're gonna be heels, but I don't know what to make of this. With Brian and Yuta need help. They need help. They need
Eddie Kingston.
Well, that's not happening. They need at least one male and one female.
Eddie Kingston will hobble his ass to that ring. He doesn't care. If it means killing Claudio, come on.
Yeah, well, yeah, but he's gonna have to wait until probably fucking next May to go kill Claudio, because that guy cannot walk. But yeah, they're gonna need a male and a female to help, because that's what they're up against here. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that could be. I don't even know if necessarily they would do something like that, or they actually
Mm.
might just go themselves. They don't need to be equal. But I could see them doing something like that. But I think at most probably somebody to help Brian and Wheeler in a trio sense of things.
Also, the crowd with the chant of the night. This is murder.
Yeah, I mean, there was a bag over the man's head. That did happen. So you got to be careful with that. But this was a great angle. This was an exceptional angle.
Yeah.
And Brian Alvarez, he tweeted out like a couple days ago about what Mox is actually doing. And it's apparently like basically based off a character from a movie.
Yes.
I forgot what movie it is, but he's basing this new character and new gimmick off of something from a movie. So it's very exciting. If anybody's gonna do it well, it's gonna be Mox. So very excited to see where this goes with this new gimmick here with Mox.
I agree. It's gonna be really good.
Yeah, and
I think this lines up. Maybe what, like, is the next pay per view the one?
yes,
Fuck.
Dream.
Wait,
but anyway,
that was it? The media
What?
scrum's over.
Oh wow.
It was just Tony. No people.
I mean, I get it. They just had one 2 weeks ago, so maybe it was just get all the good stuff in first, whatever. But anyway,
Okay then.
um, anyway, we had the well, technically not the main event, but the main event of the evening, the unsanctioned steel cage match between Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland, and this was fucking insanity. Insanity in a cage is what happened here. I don't even know where to begin in talking about this. We're not going spot for spot, but
They tried to kill each other.
these
off the
guys
jump.
tried to kill each other. Like the cage was coming down. They were Swerve and Hangman were trying to keep each other there so the cage would crush them, but then Nana ended up pushing them in.
What's
Uh,
funny is, like, you have, because commentary is selling, like, oh, they're gonna decapitate each other. You know, production can just go, okay, let's just pause the cage real quick. All right. I not to be a stickler of that, but like the production team can easily just stop the cage from moving. It's not like once I push the button, it's a fucking ticking time bomb. Sorry, guys.
Fucking I mean, first off, I mean, you got staple guns being used about 5 minutes into this match, so you already know shit's already getting dicey. You had staple guns being used. You had people fucking laughing, picking them out. I mean, Jesus Christ Almighty. I mean, people. I mean, there was a great looking swerve stomp through a table. There was a fucking vertebreaker onto a cinder block.
A shoot
then a
cinder
pa-
block.
Yes, and then a power bomb onto a cinder block, which was the most grotesque, disgusting bump in this match.
I thought it was
This-
a fake cinder block, but then the vertebreaker happened,
No.
and then
No way.
Hangman's back got fucked up, and I'm like, oh, so this
Swerve.
is real concrete.
There was barbed wire. Hangman was down, and Swerve was gonna attempt to do the swerve stomp from the fucking top of the cage, and I'm like, you stupid son of a bitch, you better not do it after what happened to Adam Copeland. You're fucking out of your mind, but thank God he didn't. Hangman ended up beating the fucking shit out of Swerve with the butt end of a chair.
there was. I mean, what else?
Scraping the faces against the
There
barbed
was
wire,
scraping. There was scraping against the barbed wire.
syringe.
There was power bombs onto a goddamn through the cage.
The fucking
I-
the syringe through
yeah,
the
I'm getting
gums.
I'm getting there. I want to save that one. But what's it called? We also had there was a great lawn dart where Swerve threw this fucking guy headfirst into a chair, and then he hit the chair, and then he went and hit the cage, and then he bounced up onto the turnbuckle, which was fucked up. The house call kick to the head of Hangman that smashed his head into the cage was fucking crazy. Hangman brought out a piece of charred wood from Swerve's house that he burned down, and then Swerve ended up stabbing Hangman in the fucking head with it. He went to go stab him in the neck, but then Hangman gave him a low blow.
And then Hangman got the chair and just said, "Beg for mercy."
Yeah, he
Just
was trying
start
to get
fucking
Swerve
beg.
to beg for mercy. He gave him the dead eye, and then after that, he brings out a goddamn fucking medical syringe, hypodermic needle, and once I saw it, I was like, "What the fuck does he got?" And then I saw it, I'm like, "Oh my fucking god!" What I thought at first was he had one of the long ones, and he was gonna put it through both ends of his mouth. But what we had here was worse, because he put this fucking hypodermic needle in his mouth, and it was not breaking the skin, so he started fucking stabbing his fucking cheek until it was fucking, and then until it was stuck in there. It didn't even. I don't even think it went through his fucking cheek.
It didn't.
It was stuck in his fucking cheek. This fucking hypodermic needle, and then Hangman Page proceeds to smash Swerve Strickland over the fucking head with one of the most gnarliest, unprotected chair shots I've ever seen.
Gimmick chair, by the way, for the
I better say, yes, the chair was gimmicked.
because it was
and
the
yes, there was
pink like sticker
Yeah,
on
yes.
the.
I saw that, yeah. But yes, this was.
Holy
I mean,
shit!
I mean, this was crazy. After, I mean, he got smashed in the fucking head with this. Swerve was out cold. They called the match off. Hangman Page wins the street fight, the unsanctioned steel cage match by knockout. And that ended a fantastic pay-per-view. The show went off the air with Hangman laughing and fucking just fucking looking crazed out of his goddamn mind. He started walking back to the ring, and the rise from the crowd when he started coming back to the ring, I was like, stop it. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
Assuming now Swerve goes away for a bit after this, what does Hangman do now? My camera's fucked up. Oh, it's back now. So what does Hangman do? Where does he go?
Do whatever he wants now.
Yeah, but who does he go after? Like, does he?
Well, who does Swerve go after?
Well, Swerve's
Both
gonna
are-
be out for like a couple of months, I feel.
No way. No way.
Because like it's gonna be so hard to pivot from this into the possibility of him and Bryan at Wrestle Dream.
Well, Wrestle Dream's in 30 days in his hometown. There's no chance he's not on that show. He'll be out for maybe a week, but then he's going to be back because they need a build to that show. It's in his hometown, and I don't think he's going to wrestle Bryan on that show.
So like now we're gonna probably think it's gonna be Mox and Bryan at Wrestle Dream. Possibly.
Most likely, because Darby Allin's going to be involved in this some way because Mox is calling out Darby Allin, and Darby Allin has a guaranteed title match at Grand Slam at Arthur Ashe. So
I think this is where we get a heel Darby. I think Darby just
no,
joined.
no.
You say
No.
no, but
No. That's not that would be foolish to put him with Moxley. That would, you know how beloved Darby is, and like his whole character is him loving AEW and
so was
fighting
fucking
against-
Mox.
Mox
Mox is Mox's whole character
They're
has
not doing
been-
heel Darby Allin.
has
They're
been
not doing it.
loving AEW, fighting
They're
for
not-
AEW.
They're not doing heel Darby Allin. They're not doing it because they're gonna need Darby. Darby and Mox is a big time match too, and they're gonna want to do that. And he's not just gonna join them, especially if you want to have this guy have Sting as his manager. You think Sting's gonna get booed?
I don't think they're gonna get Sting involved.
Yeah,
with
there's
it.
no there's no way Darby is going heel. Zero. I'm telling you this right now. There's no shot. There's no shot he's going heel. On a heel heavy roster, the last thing they need is a fucking baby is one of the top baby faces, one of the top merch movers, one of the top guys with kids. Darby Allin. How many fucking little kids you see? How many little kids you see at these shows with the damn half the face paint on?
Yeah, but
That shit
also
is not happening.
you still have the default fallback of Orange Cassidy. He's the kid favorite as well.
Yeah, so
How many
yeah, but
kids do you see in the crowd dressed as fucking Orange Cassidy?
Yeah, it's either or. It's either or. So why burn that when you don't need it yet? See, I'm all for a heel Darby Allin. I think that would be cool as shit. It's not time yet. It's not time yet. There's no way. And plus, there was serious discussions and reports going on that fucking they were thinking about taking the title off Bryan and putting it on Darby. I mean, Darby Allin's a future world champion. This guy is going to be. This guy is going to be. I'd say before the end of next year is going to be the world champion. Darby Allin, that is. I really, really, really don't see a heel Darby Allin ever happening anytime soon. And especially with Mox. If a heel Darby Allin's happening, he ain't going to be in no damn group with Claudio and fucking Pac and shit. If Darby Allin goes heel, he's going to be a fucking loner. He's going to be in the shadows and shit. He ain't going to be in no damn shooter group with a bunch of fucking killers.
I'm just trying to think though on like where a lot of things go though. That's like all I'm trying to. That's all I'm trying to see. And like now with the idea of like Swerve, like because there's we said this when the Texas Death Match happened. There's no way Hangman and Swerve can top this.
Well, they didn't until a year later.
That was that. Wait, that Texas Death Match was a fucking year ago.
Oh, no. It was Full Gear, but it was what, 2 months? That was Full Gear, so it would have been in November or in
But
September.
still, and then
That was a year ago.
there's, depending on what they're gonna have Hangman and Swerve do, you can't do another one of these.
Well, no, they got to keep
month
these guys
later.
away. No, they got to keep these guys the fuck away from each other for a little bit, just for a little bit.
Like,
They gotta-
what are they gonna do?
They got to. It does. That's the thing, though. It doesn't matter. They can put them with anybody. That's the beauty of it. You one chapter closes, another one opens. You could put this guy, fucking Hangman, could come out on Wednesday and cut a promo, and fucking I don't know, Malachi could go fucking interrupt him, and boom, you have a feud. Doesn't matter. Could be anybody. Swerve could come out, cut a promo. Here comes fucking, I don't know, Roosh. They have a feud. That's literally all they need to do. They don't need to have this preconceived thing. So what I think is, because you have a pay-per-view in Swerve's hometown on October 12th in Tacoma, it would make sense for them to do him and Bryan again. But is Bryan going to drop the title to Swerve? Is Swerve going to take 2 losses in pay-per-view main events to Bryan? No. So you're probably going to end up having, because Grand Slam, you're going to have to do Bryan and Darby Allin. Mox is going to get involved in that. Wrestle Dream, also state of Washington, Darby's hometown. So you could probably do Mox, Bryan, and Darby in a triple threat or they could just do Mox and Brian. And at Tacoma, you could do something of the likes with Swerve, and I mean, it'd be a little too soon with Hangman, but it's not counting like they won't do it again because after the angle they shot on Wednesday, the amount of tickets they moved after that was shot was like alarmingly well.
Mm.
They damn near sold out the place after that angle from Wednesday. And so they're gonna be in Swerve's hometown. They're gonna be in Swerve's house. So they could do something in finality for him and Hangman there for the time being, or they could just do something else with Swerve there because he's not gonna be in there with Brian.
Okay.
If they could figure something out.
There was a reason why the media scrum was short.
Yes, I read it.
TK has to catch a flight to the Jags game.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they playing?
Dolphins. Yeah, it's the Dolphins. But yeah, I mean that's the glory of it, though. He could literally feud with anybody right now, and you know what? Whoever they have, probably gonna be a good opponent.
I'm just very curious on where everything goes because I want to see who they put Hangman with going forward up until the inevitable like other match and then
well my thing about the Hangman thing is also as well is that this guy's gonna end up challenging for the world title. Him and Brian gonna wrestle again. I think he's gonna end up. I think there's a big shot. I think there's a massive shot that Hangman is the one to end Brian. Swerve couldn't do it, but he could. And then Swerve ain't fucking gonna like that shit. And he's gonna come after him, and then that gets you back to Swerve and Hangman. Again. I mean, I think Hangman, I mean, to be honest, whenever Brian listen, I'm of the thought and the proponent that whenever Brian wants to be done as a full-time performer is when he should be done. So whenever he wants to drop it, if it's a year from now, if it's 2 months from now, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's earned that. So, and to be honest, one of the best characters in AEW this year has been Hangman Adam Page. Could you imagine a psycho fuck Hangman as the world champion?
Oh.
That would be 10 times better than his first run as a world champion.
That sounds scary.
His first run as world champion was excellent. This one could be fucking generational. Swerve didn't have the belt for long. He had it for 126 days. Hangman had it for about 197 days on his first run. He could have it for the same amount of time as Swerve, like a 3 pay-per-view cycle, and have it be really effective. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know who's gonna be paired with who. I don't know who's next in the pecking order or what's gonna happen, because you got to think about it like this too. You just came out of a major show in Wembley and All In, and you had 2 weeks to build to another pay-per-view where they knocked that out of the park. So now it's reset time, because you have a big show in Grand Slam coming up, and you have Wrestle Dream coming up in October. So it's just reset time. It's you're gonna see a lot of new shit on the docket for these shows.
Yeah.
That was all out.
Yeah, I guess that was it for All Out. Like, yeah, it's gonna be interesting where we go from here. Wrestler of the week, fuck it, I'm gonna give it to I'll give it to Daniel Garcia. Put on a hell of a match with MJF.
Not bad. For me, I'm gonna give it a Pac. That guy is just one of the best wrestlers in the world. One of the most consistent wrestlers I've ever seen. Just guy's an absolute fucking gem.
Yeah. All right, guys. We will see you on Wednesday. Hopefully no one gets arrested for murder. Hopefully, Mox left Chicago before the cops could get called.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Well,
we
listen, a
will...
little attempted murder never hurt anybody. Never.
All right, guys. We will see you on Wednesday. Peace out.